friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me.
We are waging war on mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, coming to you with a special Tuesday edition of Waging War on Mediocrity. I want to see where my hungry are. Yesterday went so well that I decided to pop back on here for an encore conversation tonight. We talked about it last night. We talked about not quitting. We can't stop, won't stop. We got to fight on past average into greatness. And tonight, I want to give an encore to what we talked about last night. If you have not heard it, go back to Williams Inspires. I did hosted a watch party. I did it live yesterday at 1 o'clock. Please go back and check it out. For all my people that's hopping on live, hey, I see, there go the hungry. I've been looking for the hungry. If you're out there, you're one of the first ones to get on here, holler at your boy. I always say I believe that there's a special place for the hungry people. I see my mom has chimed on in here. For all my replayers, if you're listening to this via replay, give me about 30 seconds as I share this to my social media outlets really quickly. For everybody that's out there, how's your day going? I know you're off to a fantastic start. This is my third day in a row hopping on social media, and tonight it will not be a long bread breaking session, but we will break bread nonetheless. So get your notebooks ready, get your paper ready. Tell mama and them that the motivational teacher to the masses is getting ready to go live. If you would, please share this to someone or with someone and let them know, type a name in the bottom, just let them know the motivational teacher has gone live. And if you're watching this via replay, give me about 15 more seconds as I am sharing this to all my social media platforms. Give me one more second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for a special edition of Waging War on Mediocrity. Today, I want to talk to you about one simple word. I want to talk to you about one simple word. That word is commit. Oh, don't hang up and don't X me out right now, because we're talking about how to get from where I am today to where I want to be tomorrow. We're talking about how do I live a fulfilled life? How do I live a life that's wrapped in total life prosperity, where I have a great marriage, I have a great career, or I have a great business, or I'm walking in my financial wealth where I have more money at the end of the month than I have month at the end of the money, where I have great relationships of friends around me, a motivational teacher to the masses. How do I get there? Today, I want to talk to you about one simple word: commit. Commit. For the purpose of this video, our definition of commit is to carry into action deliberately. To carry into action deliberately. Hey, Tanya, thank you for joining us. What's up, Juan? Thank y'all for hopping on here, man. I'm going to make this a quick hit, high intensity training, but it's something I had on my heart, so I got to get it out. What it means to commit, that means I have to do something deliberately, to carry into action deliberately. It's no accident. Success in any area of our life is no accident. Success is no accident. Any area of our life where we're having prosperity, in the area of our life where we're having positive manifestation, it is no accident, and it's directly correlated to what you have sown in that area. Motivational teacher to the masses. How can I have a great career, but my marriage sucks? Because I've committed to this career, that I've gone through some things in order to get here, but I have not committed to building my relationship the way that God wants it to be. I gotta commit. And most of us, commitment is a term used with emotion. I'm about to break bread. But most of us, we make commitments in moments like when there are moments when when emotion are riding high, like, God, if you did this one more thing for me, I would commit to this. Or if a spouse is caught in adultery, they commit to all the other spouses need in order to move that. Or if I'm going through a financial crisis, I'll say, man, if I could just get past this moment, I'll never waste my money anymore. We make these commitments with emotions. I'm breaking bread right now. Thank you, Tanya, for putting that on there, to carry into action deliberately. And the majority of times when we make commitments, they do not outlast the emotion. I am about to break bread. I said I wanted to start this business because this business is going to make my family, my children, and my children's children financially stable. But at the first time of trauma, at the first time of trouble, I walk away from my commitment because it's going to cost me a little more than what I expected it to cost me. My commitment was only as strong as my emotion when I made that deliberate action. I'm breaking bread right now. And I'm committing to you all, let me use it right now, that we have to make a commitment void of how I feel and make it based on what I know. Something I got to carry out deliberately, because if I make a commitment in the midst of emotion and I don't tie action to my commitment, they are just words. They are just words. Commitment is an act and not a word. If I say I am the motivational teacher to the masses and there are no actions behind those words, did I really commit? Or was I sounding just like clanging dungs? Was I just like clanging cymbals? And my words had no purpose. Listen to these. My words had no feet attached to them. Why? Because I made a commitment in emotion, but I did not build acts behind them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, I say it every Monday. Hey, what's up, Angelique? Thank you for joining us. I say it all the time. When we make that commitment, we have to make that commitment from what we know and how I feel, because I can't fall in and out of love. Or I can't remember the first time you got your job or the first time you met your spouse, how you felt like, man, this is God blessing me. This is one of the best things that happened to me. 5 years later, I can't stand the sight of my spouse. 5 years later, my boss is just trying to do me wrong. This job came from Satan and this was never God's plan. Remember that? We made that commitment for a moment while the emotions were riding high. We have to commit from what we know. Man, I'm breaking bread right now. We have to commit from what we know, because long after we make that commitment, it ain't going to always be pretty. Like, things won't fall into place like they're supposed to all the time. I've been doing a study on Brian Chesky. Brian Chesky is the owner and founder of B&B, Airbnb. I was sitting there and I was fascinated with this story. And as I think about commitment, I think about how Brian he had to go through in order to build or launch a successful brand. And he's just launching a IPO, initial public offering, where they're about to go public. But I sat there and I looked at his study. I looked at his history and where he had to go through. So Brian and one business partner tried to launch Airbnb in 2007. But at that time, it wasn't Airbnb. It was something similar. They launched it in 2007. They did a relaunch in 2008. They didn't have any hits, nor did they have any places for people to rent, nor did they have anybody that was looking to rent places from them. You all know the business structure of Airbnb. If I want to go get a house, I can go on Airbnb.com and I can go rent a house in Florida that holds 15, and me and my whole family can go stay in that house, and that house will be less expensive than it would staying in a hotel or however. That's the B&B structure. And he started out in 2007, launched it with a website, had no properties. Number one, that who's going to be the first to agree to have some unknown people come stay in their house? And number two, who's going to say I'm going to go stay in somebody's house that I have no knowledge of? It was a new concept to the market, and it flunked the first year. 2007, nothing. 2008, nothing. So they came up with the idea that they were going to restructure. They were going to rebrand themselves, and they came up with air, bed, and breakfast, where if you stayed at these houses, they was going to figure out how to make sure you have breakfast. So they had the great idea of doing the Democratic National Convention in 2008, where President Obama and John McCain were running. They had the 2008 DNC in Denver, Colorado, and all the hotels were sold out. And so they decided that we were going to do it, relaunch during this time and find properties in Denver, and we were going to do it there. And so they relaunched in 2008, and they had modest success. I think that time they had 40 properties. They rented out 40 properties, but at the same time, they were flat broke. And my question to you is, when you've done it 3 years and you don't have the results that you're looking for, Brian Chesky, do you keep going or do you walk away from the idea? See, nobody said that, come here, James Click, nobody said this road was going to be easy, but I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. I am about to break bread. Commitment carries on long after the feeling. When the pit, ooh, I got goosebumps in my when I see this person. Ooh, my stomach just, I'm just so in love. When that feeling is gone, commitment stays around. I just broke bread. I'm like the Energizer Bunny. Even when I make the commitment that, come on, Ed, I am the motivational teacher to the masses. When I make that commitment, there are going to be some bumps along the way. There are going to be some turns that I'm going to have to get through. There's going to be some ups, some hills, some valleys that I'm going to have to get through. But just like Brian Chesney, almost 3 years with Airbnb and no success. And they had zero money. And at that moment, he had been doing it with no success. I told you, you got ingenuity on the inside of you. So they came up with the idea. Now, imagine these guys was trying to rent Airbnbs. They were not in the cereal business. They were not in the food business, but they came up with the idea around the Republican National Convention and the DNC convention in Denver that they were going to make some cereal called Obama O's, and they were going to make some Maverick cereals that kind of like John McCain. They went and tried to find money. They could find nobody. He had an alumni that gave him 1,000 boxes, and they had to print up their own labels for the cereal. I'm telling you the process of success. I'm telling you about commitment. These guys wanted to be in the business of renting properties, not making cereal. But in order to raise money, in order to fund what they wanted to do, they came up with the novel idea of creating these cereals. They sold 1,000 boxes of that John McCain and Barack Obama cereal that they glued together in their living room. Think about it. These guys were looking to become moguls by renting properties, but they're in their living rooms, hand by hand, taping, hot gluing boxes together, wrapping their labels with John McCain and Barack Obama's around the outside. They had to get creative in order to raise money to do what they want to do. So they sold 30,000 boxes of cereal, and that was their first financial offer. That was their first influx of cash that they were able to put into their business. I am about to break bread. 2008, they had nothing. They said, we need the cash. They didn't have investors. One guy said, if you're able to sell these boxes, give me a royalty for these boxes. I'm not going to charge you for them. And they had ingenuity. And I'm telling you right now that you think that it's going to be easy. Commitment is going to cost you something. You have to tap into your God-given creative ability. Thank you, Angelique. Because like Vanico just said, nothing in life that is worth it is going to be easy. Here you got these guys who are future billionaires, hot gluing boxes like they're doing a second grade project, like my son, trying to raise an initial offering to keep their company going. These guys are sleeping in the living room of an apartment with no furniture, trying to make ends meet while they're pursuing their dream. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the definition of commitment. That is when you commit. That's the definition of to carry into action deliberately. To carry into action deliberately. If it ain't happening the way that I thought it was supposed to happen, it doesn't mean that I'm supposed to walk away from it. It might mean that I'm supposed to use my ingenuity in order to do it. And do you know that even today, they did that back in 2008. They're receiving $200 a week, even today, from that cereal idea. I am about to break bread, ladies and gentlemen. Stop limiting how you believe is supposed to happen. Stop thinking that there's a straight line to success. There are crooks in it. That line's going to be squiggly. It's going to be up and down. It's going to be side and across. But all at the same time, believe that God, all these things are working together for your good because you've been called according to his purpose. You've been called according to his purpose. I'm going to break this bread up today. So these brothers, these guys, Brian Chesky, that own them, Airbnb and CEO of Airbnb, they sold them in 2008. In 2009, because their cereal was getting worldwide, listen to your boy, their cereal was getting worldwide attention. What brought more attention on their Airbnbs? It gave them a brand that people could trust, which led them right into their Airbnbs. And so 2009, Airbnbs they blew up. In 2009, they had 2,500 listings and 10,000 registered users. They went from having none in 2006, 2007 to 2009. I got 2,500 listings and 10,000 registered guests. 2020, Airbnb has over 2 million listings in over 190 countries and 34,000 cities. In 34, they're worth right now 25.5 billion. Chesky is worth 3.1 billion at 38 years old. My question to us is, what are we allowing to lie? What Airbnb is lying dormant on the inside of us? Because it doesn't come the way we thought it should. We decommitted and walked away from it. I remember Chesney saying, somebody asked him, "Are y'all now leaving the rental business and going into cereal?" He said, "By no means, but we got to use what we have in order to get what we want through this phase and this stage in life." And my question to you is, what cereal idea is lying dormant on the inside of you? What ideas, what thoughts, what gifts are lying dormant on the inside of you that we've walked away from because it didn't happen the way we thought it should? And our faith in the process has kind of been hindered. And I'm not going 120 at it. When I had that emotion, when I first had that idea, I was going 120 at it, but I did not get the manifestation that I thought I was going to get up front. So I kept going. What are we going to do, ladies and gentlemen? This is the question. What are we going to do when the idea that I had doesn't go the way I thought it should? When the road's a little bit rockier and the road is a little bit tougher than what I thought it was going to be. What do I do? What do I believe about myself when in those moments, I call them crises. I call them right there. Those are those moments that, ladies and gentlemen, you only get 4 or 5 defining moments in your life. You only get 4 or 5 defining moments in your life. And what you do in those defining moments could decide the next 5 years of your life. Do you say, "Hey, man, right now I'm too good, I'm too great to do cereal"? Or do you take the idea that God has made a way for you to do, and you say, "Let's use it and see, can I get from point A to point B with this idea," understanding that there's more in store? What's your cereal idea? What is it going to get you? I know right now I'm the motivational teacher to the masses, and I know I've been called to the masses, but in the meantime, I don't have masses' eyes at me. What do I do in the gap? What do I do in the gap? How do I feel? Oh my God, I feel it. How do I feel time and space when I don't see what I know, when I don't see my vision that God has already given me? How do I feel that time and that space in my life will determine how much manifestation you see in your life? Man, I can't get any more real than that. Commitment is an act and not a word. Commitment, I like Tony Robbins says, if I'm committed, there is always a way. If I am committed, there's always a way. I'm always so in awe of couples that stayed married 40, 50, and 60 years. Do you know? I'm just telling you, 40, 50, 60 years with one person, that's a commitment. that you've gone through good times, you've gone through bad times, you've gone through not having enough money, you've gone through commitment, but you decided that we made a commitment and they stuck with it. Having Brian Chesky go through the days of just robbing Peter to pay Paul. He said he had a book, like a picture book, with 28 credit cards that he was using to fund his business until they were able to raise that money with 30,000 boxes of cereal. I'm not advocating for you to go and say, okay, let me go get 30,000 American Express, Visa, and MasterCard and let me fund my business. But I'm saying, are you willing to give all your resources to this one idea? Are you willing to swing for the fence with your one idea, or are you just comfortable hitting singles? Bam. I'm just gonna hit another single. Bam. I'm just gonna hit another single. Or are you gonna step to the plate and swing that bat? Here, batter, and you gonna swing that bat for the fences. It's time out, ladies and gentlemen. When you make a commitment, and I think overall that people have become lukewarm in their living. We say we're going to do things we never have any intention of following through. My son right now, and I love giving these examples of my 11-year-old because I'm watching life happen to him, and I'm watching how he responds to it. I'm watching because he has the ability, he has the strength, he has the basketball game to be a starter on his basketball team, on his middle school basketball team. He's not starting for whatever reason, and I'm sitting on the sideline watching his response, because one thing I'm sure about in life, you ain't gonna always get what you think you deserve, and it ain't about that stimuli. It's about how I respond. I talked about that last night. It's 10% what happens and 90% how I respond. And I'm watching his response to the stimuli. It tells me more about the man and his process and his commitment level than it does anything else. And until we're able to look in the mirror and make that commitment to us, man, come hell or high water, I'm walking. If I have to walk across this Red Sea in dry ground, if I come to the Red Sea, God, when we gonna part it? Because I got to cross it to get to the other side. You made this promise, and I can't turn around now. I've come too far to turn around now on my commitment. There is no such thing as uncommitted. There's no such thing as decommit. And you see it all the time right now in college athletics, where they have the transfer portal. I'm unhappy here, I'm just going to go hit the transfer portal. If I feel like this, I'm just going to go hit the transfer. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, with your goals and your vision and with your purpose of what God has given you on your life, there is no transfer portal. I can't covet what Les Brown has. I can't covet what E.T. has. I can't covet what T.D. Jakes has. I can't covet what Tony Robbins have. I gotta run the plays with what I got and believe that God and I are the majority, and that what I lack we can build. I just broke bread right there. I'm not coveting anybody else's gift. I can't go to the transfer portal, because what me and God got, what I lack, me and God together, we can grow. Don't ever negate the great I am, awakening your I am to improve the process of that of which you're seeking. If any man shall lack, let him ask. If anybody, you knock, the door shall be open. Seek it, you shall find it. What is he saying, motivational teacher? You got ingenuity on the inside of you. You got purpose over your life. You got destiny on the inside of you. I love the fact that the kingdom, boy, don't look, I'm going here tonight. I love the fact that God has hit the kingdom within all of us. Like, why you're looking for the answers externally when the answers are internal? They came up with the genius idea of selling box cereal. And they made $30,000 by selling box cereal with the Maverick something, and then Obama O's. They made $30,000 that they were able to put back into the vision of Airbnb with the cereal. My question to you is, what do you have in your hand that we sleeping on? What's up, Q? What do I have in my hands that I'm sleeping on? Like, yeah, I know it's not what I'm supposed to do, but it can be the thing that leads you to the thing that gains you the access to the thing you're supposed to be doing. I work a secular job. I love what I do on my secular job, but is that my final destination? Is that my final calling? The answer is no, but what it is, it's preparing me. Boy, I love that song. He's preparing me for a higher call. All these things work together for my good. I need somebody to say that right there. I need somebody to say that right there, that all these things work together for my good. I know sometimes it doesn't feel good to you. I know sometimes that it causes you to have to look deep within inside of you, because, ladies and gentlemen, when you go through things, it's only to help you discover the kingdom that's within you. You go through things, you don't know how strong you are until strength is the only option that you have. And a lot of times when you go through things, when that dude walked away from you, when you went through that divorce, when you were molested, all those things you went through are only meant to show you how strong you are. It's for you to discover the kingdom that's inside of you. It's for you to discover, I love this word, the ingenuity that's on the inside of you. It's for you to discover the creativity and what's inside of you. Stop running from stop running from what you think you lack and embrace it. Ladies and gentlemen, faith starts at the end of your comfort zone. Embrace what you lack. Embrace what you lack, because believe you will. Let me say this. Embrace what you lack. You were created to be fruitful and multiply. If you lack something, you are fruitful and you can grow it. You don't have to expect well, the bank don't believe in my vision. Well, my boss don't believe in my goal. Well, my mama, my daddy didn't give me the resources. Well, my siblings won't support me. Ladies and gentlemen, you were created to be fruitful and multiply. Whatever you lack in your life, you can grow it. You are a chip off the old block. He said, let there be light, and there was light. Separated. Come on, man. The night from the day, all by himself with his creative mind and words. And you're talking about what you lack. You are fruitful and you can multiply. You have been blessed with every spiritual blessing. And motivational teacher, why am I blessed with every spiritual blessing? Because if you have the spiritual blessing, you can create the natural from your spiritual blessing. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I gave you a natural example from the owner of Airbnb, who is worth $3.1 billion at 38 years old, who started and had 4 years of no success, who said, I'm just going to keep going. And I'm telling you, even with your ingenuity and the great I am strengthening you, ladies and gentlemen, there is no reason why that big goal, that big vision, that I call it that wildly important goal, or that big audacious goal that you have, there's no reason why you cannot accomplish it if you are totally sold out and committed. Yep, we used to call it SOAR, sold out and radical. We used to call our youth group SOAR, sold out and radical. I think sometimes some of us adults, we've lived so long that we need to tap into our childlike faith. See, children believe anything. Oh, son, you could be the governor of Alabama. Your mama telling you that when you're 5 and 6. Oh, son, you could be the president of the United States. And I said, I believe sometimes we should go back and visit our childlike faith. The faith that it takes to fall 5 or 6 times, scrape your elbow 5 or 6 times, and you get back on the bike. Your childlike faith, where you're trying to learn your timetables, and it seems so difficult in the beginning, but you keep going because they told me that I have the capacity to learn my timetables. So I'm going to keep going over my timetables no matter how many times I fail. I keep going. Why? Because I am a child. And I think some of us adults have been jaded by the world and its system, and we've had some failures. Yep, it didn't work our way. We've had some missteps. Yep, I twisted an ankle. I've torn an MCL, ACL. Yep, I missed some shots in my basketball career. Yep, I missed some game winners. But into my mind, we've come to the conclusion that failure, we've come to the conclusion that what I believe I'm supposed to have obviously isn't for me, and life has taught us that. And we've started looking at this natural world, and we've made this world out to be true and God a liar. Most adults have been dumbed down by the school system. They told us we were average, and guess what we did? We tucked the bait. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our season in life, but we have to understand and be strongly committed. We have to carry into action deliberately, daily, hourly, weekly. We have to own our commitment. Yeah, we got to own our commitment. Sometime it ain't gonna go. Most time it's not gonna go. But ladies and gentlemen, if you believe that all things work together for your good, if you believe the great I am lives and is strengthening your I am to discover the kingdom that is within you, then I fight on like a good soldier. I will endure pain and suffering with a smile on my face because I know in the end, what's up, Tina? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, Miguel. I know in the end that it must work together for my good. I told you last night, my natural eyes can deceive me. I have to go with what I know. And what I know is that when that doctor slapped me on my bottom out of my mama's womb, and I went from breathing fluids to now breathing air, that I have an assignment, a divine assignment from the Almighty that saw fit to send me to earth in this season in time. If he could have sent me to earth in another season in time. He could have sent me to earth back in the 1940s. He could have sent me to the earth in 2200, but he sent me for this moment in time. What's up, Periscope? I see Periscope hopping in here. He sent me on this moment in time because there's destiny on the inside of me. Don't you dare tell yourself that your life ain't worth living anymore. I know right now I'm looking at the mental health crisis during the pandemic. I'm looking at suicide rates going up during the pandemic, and I'm telling you, this is the best time to discover who you are. This is the best time to begin to I like this word, rediscover the kingdom in you. To rediscover, bam, that doctor popped me. I started saying, why? And God is saying, man, this is your moment in time. And we call that our birth fate. But truth be told, you were born way before that moment in time. God had been waiting for a moment with information and technology such as this to activate your purpose into this earth. Don't you dare tell yourself you're not. You got to commit to it. You got to believe so much so in the great I am, strengthening your I am, that I'm not walking away from this present moment in time. That if I'm here in this moment of time, it must be meant for me to shine. I don't care what this moment looks like. I know right now I'm 2 payments behind on my house right now. I know right now I'm on the job market because of coronavirus. I ain't had a job in 4 months. I know right now that I'm struggling financially. I know right now that my relationship may have some twists and turns in it because we ain't got enough money in the house right now, and it's causing bumps in the road with me and my spouse. I know right now what it might look like. It doesn't look like you're winning right now. It doesn't, I'm saying it doesn't feel like you're winning right now, but you got to commit to it. It doesn't, you got to commit to it. When times are good, you got to commit to it. When times are bad, you got to, in the hills, in the valley, you got to commit to it. You got to be willing to walk away from the moment and say, man, I'm committed. I love, man, I got this camel ring. It's rubber. It's round. And I love wearing this camel ring because this reminds me, every commitment, you have to wage war on mediocrity on it. I could have gotten an easy ring with the little colors around it. It reminds me, the rubber reminds me that in commitment that you have to be flexible, that you have to be willing to stretch some. In a commitment, it tells me with this camel ring that it ain't gonna always be one way. I ain't gonna always have green days which I'm going. I'm not gonna always have dark black days where something. I'm not gonna always have brown days. But I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the cusp. I like that cue. I like that cue. I love that cue. Boy, you taking me in another direction. Every woman hurts before giving birth. But right now, Q, since you taking me there, right now I believe we're crowning. I believe right now, the moment right before the babies get ready to pop out, they say the mother is crowning. I believe right now that we're crowning, and right now is the moment where we're being stretched a little bit. Yeah, we're being stretched a little bit. That right now in the midst, we're in this world, but we're not of this world. But right now, we're being tested. Right now, we're taking the ACT. We're taking the SAT. It's a standardized test. We're taking it right now. Although I don't have to do what the world system says I have to do, but I got to sit for the exam, lest I be exempt from the next level of manifestation. Sit there and endure like a good soul. Be stretched a little bit. Boy, I'm breaking the bread right now. Understand that crowning is when there's the come on, man. Come on, man. I ain't did no study of when a baby is being born. I'm just speaking right from the heart. At crowning is the place where a mom may feel the most pain. Right before the promise is being released, the doctor says to what? Push. The doctor said, I need hope. Push. I need for you to push because the promise is right on the other side right now. The closer you get to the promise, the harder you gotta push. I'm asking you right now, push. Come on, Raven. Thank you. I'm asking you right now. Miguel said it might not feel good, but it's for, boy, you broke bread. I love the Camel Nation. May not feel good, but it's for my good. Anything worth having, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to push. Having a baby is a commitment. So, it's 9 months. Having a baby is a lifetime commitment. You have, just a 9 month. No, you have to commit. Your dreams and your goal, we're going into 2021. We have to commit. Man, I'm telling you, just do me one favor. Come on, Virginia. I'm going to break that bread. Do me one favor. In 2021, have an idea. Have a purpose worthy of committing to. That I'm going, listen to your boy. How do we commit? Have something that you've written down that you say every morning. But I mean, every morning when the first thing you get out of bed, I am committed to expressing the highest version of myself today. That's my commitment every morning when my feet hit the floor. God, how can I express the highest version of myself today? That's my commitment to Anthony D. Williams, the motivational teacher to the masses, every day that I have to express. And you don't do that. And I can't express the highest version of myself if I'm only thinking about me. If my life revolves around me. And see, ladies and gentlemen, this is the difference between worldly success and kingdom success. Worldly success normally, hey, what's up, Elkie? How you doing? Worldly success mainly revolves around one individual. And we can see it in the White House every day. Worldly success revolves around the individual at the center. Kingdom success revolves around the kingdom. That if I help enough people in their life get what they want, the seed is within itself. God will ultimately give me what I want. I just broke bread. How can I express the highest image of myself today? And my question to you all, and I want y'all to use that chat box. And when I say use that chat box, you're not using it for my ego so I have more comments. I want you to use that chat box to start connecting a new thought in your brain to fire across your synapses. As you begin to fire it across your synapses enough time, you will start linking emotion with it. Once you have a thought and you have a feeling, now we're starting to create new behaviors. So right now, really quick, what are you going to commit to in 2020? Now, when I say commit, now I'm not meaning like on good days. I'm not meaning when it all look good and it's sunny outside and everybody and their mama's on your side. I'm not talking about those. A commitment is only as strong as it is in the good times and in the bad times. What are you going to commit to? We're getting ready to exit 2020. I want you to use the chat box. I want to call you out on this Tuesday. What are you going to commit to? What are you going to do deliberately? I love that word, deliberate. What are you going to be intentional about in 2020? Building, Raven said, building my empire. Building my empire. And see, once you start, like what What behaviors or what actions must I do daily to build my empire? Like if I'm, oh, I know a little bit about Raven. If I'm Oprah Winfrey or I'm Tyler Perry and I'm a mogul, what behaviors, what must I do daily to continue to improve my empire? I'm telling you right now, what are you gonna do? I'm glad Raven chimed in this conversation. More of y'all out there, what are you going to do? What are you going to commit to in 2021? Not lukewarm, I mean all in with it. What are you going to commit to? Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to take your whole heart. You're going to take your whole heart. What will get someone's attention? Commit to it. It's going to take everything that's in you. Intentional about growing my art collector audience. I love it. Commit to it. What behaviors are a part of growing my art, my audience? And commit to doing those behaviors every day. I know some days you ain't gonna feel like it. Some days you're gonna get bad news, and some days you're gonna get, you got aches in your body, and some days your spouse ain't gonna act right. Some days your kids ain't gonna act right, but I'm committed. But I am committed. If I got to go in my room and close my closet 15 minutes so I could be intentional about building my art collector artist, I got to do it. Why? Because I am committed. I can't stop pushing when I'm crowning, ladies and gentlemen. When I'm crowning, it's going to hurt like doggone all out, but I can't stop pushing when I'm crowning. Lisa said national hair replacement. Come on. Being a better, I love that. Being a better husband and father, being more intentional to the kingdom of God, not walking in fear, but more walking by faith. I love that. Outreach ministry. I'm doing shoes for students. I love that. I love that. Commit to it. Every day, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, there's no such thing as a part-time commitment. Self-care, self-development, growth, positive changes for radical positive changes for me and my family. I love that. I love that. I love that. Now, we don't need a part-time commitment. In order to truly commit, and this is the whatever the corporate side of me, let's start defining what that looks like in behaviors. What does self-care look like on a daily basis? What does self-care look like on a weekly basis? What must I do daily in order to build my outreach ministry for my shoes for kids? Let's start. We have the big idea, but let's start finding those. As we begin to narrow down those big ideas and commit to those, God's going to give us answers and going to give us ingenuity that we didn't know that was on the inside of us. But it's going to require that daily we work on that commitment. Nothing just happens. If you're living your life from miracle to miracle, God is not pleased. If you're living from miracle to miracle, God, the great I am, is not pleased because he's strengthening your I am. And that means you're not walking in the ingenuity. Listen, you were created to be fruitful and multiply. You were created to be fruitful and multiply. That was the first, when God slapped Adam, he told him, be fruitful and multiply. Life change and transformation, my business. Come on. You were created. Ladies and gentlemen, this world has told you. My, Johnny Gill. Hey, listen, man, I'm on here 40 minutes. I said I was going to be 20 minutes, 25 max. This world has sold us a bill of goods, and they've told us, and they only tell us these things because this world only wants you to be average. Do you think the Rockefellers and the Waltons, they're happy just having you work for them? They're not giving you the keys to the kingdom. They're not giving you the secrets to success. They're happy to send you to college, to send you to high school, pay you $40, $50, $100,000, $150,000 a year. You earn, millions for them. Trust me, I know the cycle. But I'm telling you that in your commitment and your daily activities, greatness is in the middle of it. Like, ladies and gentlemen, man, my mom is not going to like this, but we have to divorce this world's thinking. We have to divorce the world's thinking. We have to divorce the world ideas of that I'm only supposed to have my little corner and that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not selfish for you to want to build a lifestyle to where your children and your children's children can be blessed. We got to change our mindset. And it's so taboo in the African American community to talk about money. It's so taboo. We can't talk about money. We can't talk about investments. We can't talk about growth. We don't talk about all those things. Why? Because the world that we've grown up in has told us that that stuff is taboo. That's why we always broke, busted, and disgusted. I'm not supposed to talk about what goes on in this house, stays in this house. No, not when you got mentors and people you can trust and people that's looking out for your best interests. You might only have one or two people, but those are the people that I glean from. I'm breaking bread right now. And all of that is part of the commitment, ladies and gentlemen. Once you wholeheartedly commit, God is going to start bringing resources in your life that you don't even know exist. He's going to start bringing people in your life. Now, let me rephrase that. He ain't going to start bringing people. The great I am strengthens your I am to attract that which you need in your life to have success. You're going to start attracting, but because of the great I am, you're going to start attracting relationships that you need to get you to the next phase. You won't know you have those relationships or you have access to those until you get moving. These guys didn't know they had access to serial ideas until they needed money and ingenuity kicked in order to keep their business going. These guys had no idea what they were doing until they tapped in their ingenuity because that was needed to keep the business going. And it's the same way for you. You're thinking that I got to have it all together from day one because that's what they told us, that I got to have it all together. I'm telling you, you ain't got to have it all together. You just got to have the faith of a mustard seed and just to start, just to commit. Only the faith you need is the faith to commit. That's it. I just need the faith to commit. Ladies and gentlemen, man, I'm telling you, I'm looking at the names on this list. You all have been with me long enough. I can tell you that the people on this list, and I got to stop being so taboo. I see multimillionaires in this list. I see people that can help multiple organizations get to where they need to be. I see your children being taken care of for generations to come, all because you made the commitment. You made the commitment. And the process of committing is the same for your children's children. That's legacy, ladies and gentlemen. Stop thinking we shortchange ourselves thinking about diamonds and pearls and cars and houses and money and all these things. Listen, man, money is a resource. The more efficient you are with resources, the great I am, God can trust you with more of it. The more efficient you are with your time, the more efficient you are with your personal development, the more efficient you are with your commitment, you can be trusted with more. We put money on this pedestal. Money ain't hard to make. Come on, man. Money ain't hard to make. We put money on a pedestal because we look at that money gives us access to things. I'm telling you, you got access to them same things without money if you start committing to it, because favor will attract those things that you need to be successful. I just broke bread. I know what my bank account looks like. The tellers don't like it. Speak. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have been phenomenal. Please, if you get one thing from this conversation, commit. Don't commit verbally. I want you to commit written. I want you to write down your commitment. I want you to say it in the morning when you get up. Say it before every meal. I want you to say it before the last thing you do after you kiss your spouse and say, I love you. I want you to go over your commitment. Make your commitment the last thing you do, whether it's commitment to your family, whether it's commitment to your business, whether it's commitment to your kids, whatever the commitment is. And I think you ought to have commitments in 4 areas of your life so your life will not be unbalanced. I got to get ready to get off this conversation. I think you need to have a commitment in your relationship with your spouse, if you got one. I think you need to have a commitment with your kids. You need to be committing yourself to something with your kids. Whether you got a business or you work a job, what is your commitment there? And then also, I think you need to have a financial commitment. I think you got to have, I'm going to save X amount of dollars. I don't care if I make $5. I'm going to save a nickel no matter what. I got to commit. And I got to commit daily. Like, we can't commit once a year. I'm going to commit in 2021, January 1st, and that's the end of our commitment. Our commitment must be daily. And I think that's why so many people make New Year's resolution and can't see it through, because they only committed on New Year's. It's a new year, new emotion. No, ladies and gentlemen, we got to make this commitment every day. Every day, the word is new. I mean, every day we got to commit. His grace and mercy is new every day. Every day, if his grace and mercy is new every day I wake up, my commitment has to be renewed. Let this mind that be in you also in Christ Jesus. Every day is a commitment to a renewed mind. And that's why so many of us persistent. Yes. That's why so many of us miss out on that side of life, because we're not persistent, we're not consistent, and we don't commit every day. I told my son this yesterday. Every day the rent's due. Every day the rent's due. Every day the rent's due. If you want to be great in any area, every day the rent's due. Wake up in the morning when your feet hit the floor. Let's begin paying the rent. How can I express the highest version of myself, God, to help me and the people around me manifest their capital in this earth? How can I? Lead me, guide me, give me conversations to have with people. Give me the words to speak in this season so that they may gain manifestation. My life is not my own. I'm a seed that you planted, and you've called me to be fruitful and multiply, that I got to multiply. Man, boy, I got to get off the thing. Before a seed can be fruitful, that seed must go in the ground and die to be birthed again. It has to be. Is that seed not fruitful when it's dying? That seed is the most fruitful it will ever be in the process of dying, because it's going to make a beautiful tree. If that seed is never cracked, come on, ladies and gentlemen. If that seed is never cracked underneath the earth, we can't ever get the apple tree. We can't ever get the orange tree. We can't get the palm tree, because the seed was never. But if that seed be cracked, it brings forth true manifestation. And part of our seed being cracked is us paying rent daily. Us paying rent, us making the right manifestations, us making the right meditation, us having the right inner conversation within ourselves. Every day, the rent is due. You can't skip days without paying rent. You'll find yourself homeless, and you will not know how you got there. Well, you take 5 days off and don't pay rent, eventually you will be homeless. You be 5 days into 2 months, eventually you will be homeless. And we're homeless, we're bankrupt, and we don't know how we got there, because every day we weren't paying the dues. We have to be that intentional and that committed to our cause in order to see manifestation. Ladies and gentlemen, I just broke bread. Lori, every day the rent's due. Better believe it. Commit every day, Angelique. It's a lifestyle. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all. Man, I had no idea that I was going to want to be going this long. I told you last night, man, when I get in front of this, it's just me and my computer. When I get in front of this computer, man, I am making love to my gift. And it feels really good to me. And I meant to just say 30 minutes today. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, until you discover why you were put on earth, you haven't started living. Because the moment you do, you start believing so much so in what's on the inside of you that you and it becomes one. You know each other. You become one. Find that thing you were put on earth to do and commit to it wholeheartedly. I am the motivational teacher to the masses. I am a John Maxwell speaker, trainer, coach. If you're trying to get to the next level of life, holla at your boy. I want to thank y'all for chiming in and elevating this conversation today. I mean, the comments on here are phenomenal. And I thank y'all. Any time that you spend with me is never wasted time. I will never pop on here and ramble. There will always be intentionality in this conversation. And I appreciate the moments that you invest with me. Thank you, Elkie. I appreciate the moments you invest with me. And man, drop comments, listen to it, #1, #2, #3, #4. Drop comments and let me know what nuggets you pull out, because the nuggets that you all pull out are the nuggets that I try to expound upon. My life is not my own. I'm okay with it, man. The great I am strengthens my I am, and I challenge you every day to wage war on mediocrity. Thank you for joining us. Your boy is out.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a